else who's mentioned that they would be coming in the calendar invites, so I think we should continue on. And we didn't have a call last month, or 2 weeks ago, right? And when was our last call, actually? It might have been a month or so ago.
Yeah, I think our last call was a month ago, so we missed 2 meetings.
Okay. All right, well, let's see what kind of updates we got, and turn it over to you, John, and then I guess you can turn it over to Ken.
Yeah, that's right. If Ken's ready, he's more than welcome to begin his update on what the VLST has been up to.
Yes, let me share my screen real quick. Okay, so this is a prioritized list of endorsed tickets by impact score. Some of the things that we have been focusing on, I'll touch on these. So single sign-on now, we rolled that out last week on the 6th to Garrett, the code review component of VLab as well. So now we have it within our 3 most actively used components. The only one that doesn't have it is Jenkins, and that's it's hit so infrequently that it's a very low priority for us to implement it there. So that's that's almost done. That's the highest priority item that we had. So that's a good thing. The next item on the list is a dynamic data list, sort, filter, organize. That's waiting for DXP because there's some additional capabilities with regard to the dynamic data list there. And so we'll be reevaluating that with DXP. Just as a reminder, DXP is the upgrade of virtual lab collaboration services. We're using a product called LifeRay for the portal, and we're upgrading. We got the monies to get the new license, and we'll be upgrading that within the. We're just going through the process of getting an understanding of the level of effort that will be involved with doing the migration. We have a lot of custom development that we need to migrate across. It's a fairly significant effort, and we're just trying to get a good feel so that I can come up with accurate, or as accurate as possible, estimates so we can put together a timeline. But I'm anticipating 1 to 2 months for this. It will impact users in that there is a new look and feel to the site. We'll be modifying our current theme to apply it to the new product, and so we'll be working on that. And then there obviously will have to be a user component to the migration in terms of training and such. But one of the nice benefits of it is dynamic data lists, and one of the main features that people have been asking for is the ability to upload documents and things like that directly from your computer, because current workflow is not very intuitive, and so that's one thing that was addressed with DXP. So anyway, that's a lot of our energy at the moment is going into that. But so that we're waiting on. Quickly view community owners. I think we can close this issue actually. That got rolled out a couple weeks ago. I think like 3 weeks ago actually. And now if you go, let me pull up VLab.
I think John just closed it a little bit, or you did, I think.
Well, I
put it
the development ticket, the
okay.
development ticket. So this one, the VIT ticket, will need to be. So you can actually see here now. There's this eye, and if you hover over it, you'll see the site owners for each of the communities. So that's I think addresses the need. We'd also talked about potentially adding something within the communities themselves and having the administrators listed there. That's a little bit lower priority. And if it's deemed that that's necessary, we can readdress that too. I think some of the development work actually has taken place on that, but I haven't had a chance to review that and get that rolled out. But for now, we're meeting the core need, which hopefully, Brian, you agree.
Yeah, I think it's much better.
Okay. So I don't have any updates in terms of preview as a user from the owner's settings. That's something we'll have to look at after the DXP upgrade. Again, I understand the need. If we have some high-profile users, it is possible to create like a test account. We've done that. For example, one of the things that's been going on for Weather Service headquarters is that they're creating sites for all of the offices within Weather Service headquarters that are using VLCS. And so we're tying that to LDAP, and they have about 20 new communities to support this, and it's a pretty big effort. So I did create a test user account for the lead developer and project manager in that case, so that they could give that person a regular role and test, and that can be very beneficial. So if you're doing a lot of development and you need something like that, contact VLab admin and we can help. So I would say for now that's the best workaround for this, and it works quite well. We just need not an email address that we can tie to the external partner account, and it would be a test external partner account that you can then use to verify things are working as a non-administrator, because that's an important thing. So I think we have a workaround for that, and perhaps we just need to provide some documentation and close out that issue. Okay, so the collaboration services would benefit from using Liferay personal pages. That's something that it's not difficult to do. I had planned to do it last month. I've run out of time, and now with DXP, I'm thinking that it makes sense to do this after the upgrade, either after or during as part of that. So I've pushed that out as a result of that. So that's the status of the personal pages. So adding the field to identify communities by line office, I believe that John Chattel addressed that issue. Is that right, John?
Add a field to identify communities by line office. I don't think so, no, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so maybe what we need to look at there, so let me show you something. So we actually do, I guess the question is, where would we want that to show up? So we are collecting that information from LDAP. So like if I go into my account and go to my account, and then there's I actually have an idea that maybe it would meet the needs here. So if we come into here and we go to custom fields, there's a custom field here, and its line office is being populated, and that's automatically being populated from LDAP. So perhaps what we could do is on the personal, not personal, but the profile page, there's a portlet there that gives information about you. Maybe what we should be doing is we should be populating the line office here, and then make it searchable too, so that if someone does a search, they would get hits, so that when you come into here and do a search this way, the only problem is if we did that, you'd get a lot of hits, because we've got a lot of people within VLab now. But at a minimum, we could definitely do that. So I guess I'm not quite sure who the sponsor was for that particular issue, but that might be a viable option, and I can update the ticket with that information. So I guess that's you, Brian.
So you're using that info, you can then identify the community owner by line office.
Is it the community owner? Is that the request? Maybe I misunderstood.
No, it's the community, but I guess I was just wondering how you would know who the community.
Okay. Never mind. I got sidetracked. Or I misinterpreted it. So yeah, we do have a bigger effort, and we definitely are planning to organize the communities by organization as well, and line office would be one of those. And so that's something.
Yeah, it's more a tag. I guess what I was thinking. Yeah, it's more a tag that you would put with the community, that way you could sort by that, which I don't think you have at the moment, right?
We don't at the moment, and that's exactly what we are planning on doing. We just haven't had time to implement it yet, but what we wanted to do was, when you get to all available communities, provide a way to be able to filter the content based upon using tags and categories, so categories specifically, one being organizationally based, so you would be able to click or search based on, if you typed in NWS or fisheries or whatever other line office, you would be able to see the communities that are associated with each of those. So yeah, it's directly in line with what we're thinking to do. We just haven't had time to do it yet. So that's in the planning stages. Okay, good. So sorry about that. This side track. So if we go back. Okay. So this 28051, will be addressed by DXP, and so as soon as we have a project schedule ironed out for that, we'll let the VIT know, and we'll get the set expectations on when that would be rolled out. So the notification capability, I have been exploring. I've spent some time this past week and late last week, so Friday and Monday, looking at a new, there are a set of plugins. It's called Easy Redmine, and so I'm getting a quote from them to see. It's open source software. It's kind of funky. It's open source, but they charge for the plugins. So I don't quite see how that's open source, but you do get the source code. They have, I'll just show you very quickly, Redmine. So it basically, we looked into it because of the resource management. That's one of the things from a project management perspective. Redmine doesn't really provide you the ability to look at over allocation of resources in terms of people and things like that. This plugin allows for that, but then they've got this Easy Redmine project too, or plugins, and it's quite nice in terms of it provides. I actually have a trial going right now, but it offers some really nice features in terms of look and feel, and one of the things that is there is a notification capability, so that's why I bring this up at this point in time. So again, this would be a fairly substantial effort in terms of upgrading, but I'm trying to, what I hear from this company is that it's not, it's intended to work with existing systems, but it adds a very nice look and feel. It adds like easy Gantt charts, much more drag and drop capabilities. The look and feel of the site is vastly improved from my perspective, and there's a lot of new capabilities that have been requested. So we're looking at that, looking at the cost, and seeing if it's reasonable to do. So that's something that we are looking at, and that would be address this issue here, 21819. I'll have to go and look. I'm not sure about the more control. I believe this actually work has been completed, and it's in testing and ready for me to verify it, and then get that out. I think it actually allows you to adjust the fields and displays and things. That so that I should be able to address this week or next at the latest. Chat feature, that's the chat. I believe that they actually have chat too as part of one of the plugins that's available through Easy Redmine. So that's something if we were to able to move forward. There, like I said, there will be costs associated with this, so we're trying to see how much that would be if it's recurring. There is like a one-time cost, but then that doesn't get you upgrades and things like that if the company comes out with newer versions of the software. So developed report, this shows all the issues reported by you. That's been completed, and that would go on the personal pages for people. And so we just need to reevaluate, take a look at that from a performance point of view and make sure that that's not going to bog things down. But the work actually has been completed there. And enhanced project and user-specific notifications. I'll have to look. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Determine VLab users for each VIT organization. I think that's the one that John took care of, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's done.
That's been done.
So it looks like there's a couple that one either need to be closed here or John needs to close on the VLab ticket side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the VLab users one, the one about the community owners and stuff like that. So there's a couple to close.
And that was, I just closed on the other side, so I didn't give a lot of time there. So so I'm going to stop there at the 7s, and then we'll. So I've spent a fair amount of time talking. So if there are questions about anything else, let me know, and I can try to address them.
Hi, this is Tammy. I don't have a question. I just wanted to let folks know I joined late.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Tammy. And it looked like Reed joined as well, so we have a quorum.
Yes, we
so, perfect. Are there any questions for Ken? If not, I think Ken, you have the next one too on Ideas Marketplace, Redmine issue 611. Do you know what that is?
Hello? Is anybody there?
I'm here.
Okay,
I don't know if Ken is there. I don't know if Ken is.
No, I'm sorry. I was talking and I had muted myself.
Okay.
So, I'll have to. So it looks like Mike Giebler, one of my developers, uploaded some fixes, and I missed that. So I'll have to go in and take a look. So I worked with him on the initial requirements, but I missed the fact that he had actually uploaded it. So so this would allow community owners to go in and subscribe users, I believe, and also it's going to allow the members to subscribe to multiple things, multiple categories automatically. So I'll have to come back and brief the group on this. But it looks like the work has been completed, and so I just need to test it, and then if it works as is expected, we can roll this out.
Now remind me, this is something we've talked about. For the ideas marketplace, just taking that as an example, and you provided me the ability to see the users of the NWS, but I think that's the most granularity that you can get. In addition to, so the two questions are, one, there's no more granularity that you can provide in that sense, and then two, we talked about this before, but is there a way of seeing who is subscribed to the ideas marketplace?
So I need to test that with regard to this update. What we've found is that, so there is a message board subscription manager, and so Mike has he's implemented some fixes for that. What I'm not sure of is that code assumes that it's looking for users within the community, and the tricky part about the way we implemented the Ideas Marketplace is that it's in the NWS community, and people are subscribing that aren't in the NWS community. So there are subscriptions, users are subscribed that are outside, and that's allowed, but I think that the portlet assumes it's only people within that community. Because initially we had issues because there are so many users in VLab. If you were to display all users, that's like 20,000 users. But we should be able to come up with a way of showing, so I can show you what I mean by this. So if we go up and we go to NWS, Ideas Marketplace, okay, so it's in the NWS community. And then if we go to Admin, Configuration, and then we go to the Message Board Subscription Manager, so it does show you subscribers, but the issue is that for Ideas Marketplace, it doesn't at the top level. So that's with this fix. I need to see if that'll work. And then the other side of it is if you manage subscriptions, this is what I was talking about, and that it's only showing, I believe, users that are in that particular community. And right now, we don't have the logic, but I'm actually creating some logic for the headquarters stuff, and I can add the logic here too, that if you're part of the NWS line office as identified within LDAP, I can add those users to the NWS organization, and then they would be a member of the NWS community. So within VLab, we have organizations and communities associated with the organizations. So I think that would actually address this issue. So I think actually I've got a solution that would work between Mike's fixes and the post login hook that I'm going to be putting in place. So I'll make sure and note that and add another ticket when I'm doing that other work to do that. Okay. So that, and then I think we'll be able to address this, and then we'll make sure that it actually works as we would expect. So
okay, perfect. Yeah, stay on for, well, I think we have more on the Ideas Marketplace a little later, but okay. I think that's it on that. I know the next one also had your name, but I think we've already talked about this, John, about just the project's portlet being a little slow the first time you load it if it's not cached, and I don't think there's anything else, Ken, that we need to talk about there, right?
Yeah, I don't, right. So I don't know. We're looking to see if we can improve it more so. So I think what we're talking about here is under development services, this portlet here.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. So if you happen to be the unlucky individual, so we can do some things on the background so that the caching is never experienced by a user, or it's always hitting the cache. So we'll take a look at that.
So is it okay to sort of drop that from the agenda going forward?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, wonderful.
All right, thanks, Ken. Any questions for Ken? The next item has Doug on there, but let's flip that and see if he is able to make it. Let's go next to the ideas marketplace ideas review. And John, can you bring up the a little wiki on that?
All right, hold on one second. Okay. All right, so folks should be seeing my screen.
Yep.
And let's see. So we're going to look at, let's see. So we wanted to postpone. Yeah, this is the right one. So the ideas marketplace. There we go. There's the status of everybody's review to date.
Sounds good. Looks like all the people on the call generally reviewed it. As this, I'm not sure that you were going to review it, but if you want to, feel free to take a look. Otherwise, just put, not going to review it or something like that. I don't know, John, maybe a direct thing to the fisheries folks and Southern.
Yeah, I've done so. I sent emails to all the folks who are listed as TBD, asking for their status, and have not yet heard back, but we'll continue to pursue them if you would like.
No, if they're not going to respond by the end of the week or something like that, then they just lose out in terms of their feedback.
Okay.
So maybe one more reminder: say if you don't respond, then it will be your opportunity is lost. I'm surprised on the Southern one because I know Doug might have something, so I'll talk with him about it.
Sounds good.
But can you take a look at the current list?
The current
list of suggestions.
Oh, suggestions.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Let's see. I think, yeah, here we go.
So I think we have a pretty good list here of things that would improve the functionality and the rollout. John, do you have any thoughts? Should we turn some of these into tickets or candidate tickets?
I would.
What would you think?
Somewhat defer to you on what you think makes the most sense, and then I'd be happy to create tickets if they require action by the VLST. Did you want them to go through the process of being reviewed by the VIT or some other process?
I think it would be appropriate to get a ranking from the VIT.
Okay.
I think most of this can be rolled up into one thing.
Okay.
In terms of the enhancements, there are some things in here about how we might best want to roll it out. I'm not sure there's a ticket necessary for that.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of improving the functionality, look and feel, maybe we could roll that up into one ticket and have it ranked.
Okay.
So let's put that on the agenda for next time to roll it up. What can be rolled up into one thing, and that can also go along with some of the other changes that Ken's looking into. But in terms of a rollout plan number 2, and if you scroll down, I can
will do.
See what else.
It's just one item. And
yeah, and that could be numbers 1 and 3 could be kind of rolled up, and I think everything in number 2 is more suggestion for a rollout.
Okay.
That would
I will create a ticket with that input in it, and then we'll discuss additional input at the next meeting.
Sounds good, and we'll rank and we'll rank it. And
okay, rank it at that point.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do any final comments and then rank it at the next meeting.
Okay. I will send it through that process.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of good stuff here, so thanks for people for putting some info down and for providing feedback, because I think this is going to increase and help us get moving forward, in addition to the stuff that Ken's already helping out with there. And for the other line offices that are on the call, I hope that, from the Weather Service exploring this, that this would be useful eventually to the other line offices as well. So, yeah. All right. I think that takes care of that. The next one is the strategic planning lead. I don't think Doug has been able to join us. And so I just have the information I have is what we talked about before, that Bill Ward, I think, will be able to help us on the strategic planning initiative. I don't know if anybody else has heard of any other team members who are volunteers for team members. And I'm assuming no, because we haven't heard anything, but I'll throw it out there if anybody has.
Yeah, this is Tammy from OAR. I had one person from one of our labs get back to us and say, unfortunately, the person who would be best suited for this is out on extended medical leave, so I don't have a volunteer for you.
Okay. I think what we'll do, John, is just if part of the notes, just one final reminder, if there's any other volunteers, I'm going to bring it up on an Eastern Region call on Thursday. So if there's any other volunteers, otherwise we'll have to take what we got and move forward and use the VIT probably to help out.
All right. I will send out a reminder.
Okay. Perfect. And with that, I think we're at the open action item review, John.
Okay, sure. Let me just pull over the minutes. So as we look down, we have a couple items dealing with, well, okay, the first one is the strategic planning team. So I think we're well on our way to getting into a position where we can take care of that one. We need to come up with a charter, but of course we needed a lead and a team to begin formulating that. I know Tammy is continuing to work, I guess, sort of indirectly or directly, maybe even with Eric Rasmussen. Do you have anything by way of an update there, Tammy, on issues that his comments may be sparking from the OAR perspective?
I do. I have an update, and it isn't that I haven't done anything on it for a change. I've been in touch with Eric, and his presentation had to do with how can we change the look and feel of the forums to make it more interactive. And I went back to him and said, were there any specific things that you thought we could change, move something around on a page? Were there examples that you thought worked well? And he said what he was really looking for was a quote unquote virtual brew pub where people can openly and enthusiastically discuss work and ideas. And he wasn't sure how to do that and wanted to know, did we have any examples of VLab communities where there are vibrant ongoing interactions that he could model his Vortex SE page after. So that's where we stand. He doesn't have specific recommendations. He's looking for input on how to get people more engaged in the forum.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where to go from there on the ticket.
All right. If you would like, I'd be happy to survey some VLab communities and see if I can identify those that seem to have the most success with their forums, and let you know that, and then you perhaps could pass that on to him.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. All righty. Great. Thanks for that update. And And as we scroll down, this is the second one I mentioned regarding the strategic planning team, where we were going to look at incorporating policy topics. So that will be on the table once the team is formulated and up and running. We have 3 items from our July 11th meeting. The first one I think we addressed today, which is to go ahead and finalize that list of volunteers. And I think we're in good shape there with Bill Ward so far being our sole volunteer. So I will go ahead and close this one out since we have essentially completed the process. Then, of course, we had the Ideas Marketplace review, and we'll go ahead and close that one out as well, because we'll be pushing that forward as a VIT ticket. And then, let's see, this was the one that we will also close out involving Ken's review of that one portlet that seemed to be loading slowly, but that effort to improve that will be ongoing behind the scenes. So this will be closed out as of this meeting. And we had, let's see, so investigate why some subscriptions. Okay, so this was that other issue we touched on, 611. And let me see if I can recall what this consensus was there. I think Ken said that, let's see, Marketplace.
It has to do with the community members.
Right.
So I need to retest with the latest round of changes that Mike Giebler's pushed forward. So
I'll go ahead and leave it open pending the results of that testing. Perhaps we can close it next week or next meeting.
That would be good, yeah.
All right. So that completes the review of our open action items. And I guess that means we're ready to do the open forum portion of our agenda.
Sounds good. Is there anything anybody wants to bring up? Any issues? Okay. Fairly quiet. If that's the case, I'm not sure, John, why you assigned Ken Sparrow's new action item review, but I think that
perhaps a holdover from an earlier version of the agenda. But
okay.
I'm more than willing to shoulder that responsibility if Ken would like.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I'm gonna. If we're ready for that, I'll be happy to go back through my notes here real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have quite a few things actually that need to be done by way of action items. The first is for me to certainly by the end of the month remove John Ice from any place within the VITS community. So I'll create an action item for that. Also, there were, I believe, 3 open VIT issues that can be closed. The first one was 22244. The second one was 29365, and then 17021. So these will probably, I believe, go through our normal process where I will identify the work as having been done. VIT members will have an opportunity to comment on the work, and then assuming if there is no comment, no negative comment anyway, then they'll be closed out. So expect to see something in your email about the need to, give some consideration to that, if you so choose. Alrighty, there's an item, I believe it's for Ken. He is going to undertake an effort to add NWS members to the NWS community such that the subscription manager will then be able to display them as part of the Ideas Marketplace. There's a yes?
I was just going to say the only distinction is I'm actually going to add them to the NWS organization. They will then automatically be part of the NWS community.
Gotcha. I will make that note there. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. I need to send out a reminder to all team members to complete their Ideas Marketplace input, and that'll be by the end of the, I guess, we'll say before the next meeting, if nothing else. Then there's also the need to create an agenda item for next time to rank a VIT ticket, which I will create, that basically showcases the input we received thus far on ways to improve the Ideas Marketplace, and then team members will be able to rank that at the next meeting, or at least complete the ranking process. And then we have send out one last reminder, call for volunteers or members for our strategic planning team. So we'll put the deadline on that by the end of this week. And then I need to provide Tammy a list of, we'll call them communities with very active and successful forums. And that'll be used for her and Eric to assess ways to make his particular forum perhaps more successful. And then there were 3 open action items in agenda minutes from last time that we met that need to be closed, and I will take care of that as well. And I think that concludes my list. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
All righty, very good then.
So if that's the case, then I think we adjourn to our next meeting is 2 Tuesdays from today at 1 p.m., September 26, 2017. Mm-hmm. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Have a nice afternoon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.